First of all, thanks for taking the time to be here. It's summer, it's nice outside, and we appreciate the fact that you guys are all here. Mark, if you need some pizza, there's some over in the other room. Thank you. Last year we decided we were going to do kind of all staff meetings once at the beginning of each semester. And so this is our summer semester all staff meeting. And what we want to do today is just talk for a few seconds. There's a lot of new faces. There's some old faces, but we just want to talk for a second about some of the things that are going on. Make sure that you know who everybody else is. We're going to talk a little bit about all of the different user accounts and different types of accounts that get set up. For those of you who are in leadership positions, we'll talk a little bit about hiring and getting people in the door and stuff like that. We're going to talk about Slack. And make sure that everybody understands how to use it and what the purpose of us using it is. So as we develop more video programming, we need people who are comfortable in front of the camera, talking and being there. So whether it's you or somebody you know that you think would be really great, somebody in your classes, if you're in fraternities, sororities, any sort of other clubs, mention the fact to them that we have opportunities for them to be on screen either as a reporter or as an actor in different things. And so we would love for more on-screen talent. People that love the outdoors, that want to write about the outdoors. And Wasatch, Julie mentioned it briefly, Wasatch, we're really looking to expand it. We're actually going to be working to develop a pool of contributors at Utah State, Weber State, Utah Valley University, and maybe if BYU will play nicely, BYU, where we can have students at all of those schools writing about the outdoors and things that they're passionate about with the outdoors and contributing to one main spot, which I think would be a really, really cool project. So if you've got friends at other schools that love the outdoors, or if you have anybody you know that loves the outdoors, we'd love to see them. We need all sorts of content. We need more writers, we need more photographers, we need more graphic designers, we need more radio hosts, we need more podcast hosts, we just need people. And so spread the word. One of the biggest things that you can do while you work here is be passionate and care about the fact that you work here in your classes. And make sure people know about the opportunities that exist here, because really we're getting people some jobs in some really cool places as they graduate based upon a lot upon their experience here. And so we want to help anybody do that. Programmers, coders, anything like that we can get, we'd love to get them. And we need ideas. So something that is completely off the wall could be something that could turn into a great opportunity for us. For example, and I've pitched this idea a couple times, and I think it still would be fun, but we've got a massive presidential showdown between two people with great hair. What if we just created personalities for each of their hair, and we had a website that was just pick the hair for Prez, and we created just a comedy site that focused on that? I think that would be a lot of fun. It would give us an opportunity to create something unique or different. I've also thought about the idea, because our campus has a lot of science and technology research, of creating a website and just focus on science writing and technology writing. I think that would be huge. That would be something that would be able to attract attention from a lot of different people. Logan talked about the Geek Wave. Taking the Geek Wave and turning it into a unique content vertical and creating all sorts of content about geeky stuff would be kind of fun. And so ideas, any sort of idea, please bring those ideas. Now, a couple things that you need to know. You can get credit for working here, if you didn't know that. If you're a comm student, comm 3610 is the internship credit. What you need is you need a letter from me that says you're interning here, and you need to tell me how many credit hours you're taking the class for. 1 credit hour is worth 50 hours a week of work during a semester. So if you want internship credit, you can get, I think you can take that class 3 times or something like that. You can get up to 8 credits for it. But we'd love to give you credit for working here. If you're not a comm student, most departments have an elective internship type of course that you could use, and I'm happy to do whatever I need to do. I've done it for the Hinckley I've done it for the business school. I've done it for the art department, where I just have to fill out some requirements and make sure that they know you're really doing work for us. But I'd love to help you get credit for your work here. We recognize the fact that many of you spend a lot of time, and unfortunately, we're not paying Silicon Valley level salaries to anybody for the work you're doing. We appreciate your sacrifice, but we want to do everything we can to make sure that we give you credit for that if you can. The second thing, through the comm department, we offer a course in the fall and spring called Student Media Practicum. It's comm 3620, and it's open to anybody from campus, but for comm students especially, it's a great opportunity. I work really hard to bring in a guest speaker each week that hopefully is entertaining, and I know that they haven't always been entertaining, but a guest speaker from the local industry or national industry. Last year we had Yogi Roth, who is on the Pac-12 networks and a TV and sports personality. This semester we had Brad Rock, who's a nationally recognized sports columnist from the Deseret News. We had the recruiting director from Deseret Digital Media come up and talk about different things that they were working on. We had the former director and general manager of KSL come and be a speaker. So we're trying to bring people in and give you an opportunity to network and build relationships with people outside. So look for comm 3620. It will require a code for you to register, but just ask me. I'll get those codes probably towards the beginning of August, and then you can register for that class. For those of you who are in the process of, you hire people, you bring them onto the team, please tell them these things. Tell them about the opportunities to get credit. Tell them about the opportunities to be in that class. One other thing, we have equipment on hand that is available for use. We have digital voice recorders for people who are conducting interviews or need that. We have cameras, we have video cameras. We're going to be working over the summer to develop a equipment use policy and a checkout procedure. Ashland, and it will be managed mostly through the front desk, but we'll enlist Bergdorf and some of the other people in managing our equipment and making sure that we've got it. But if there's something you need, don't assume we don't have it, ask. And then just a small request from you. I mentioned caring. A large portion of what we do is creating content, hoping people read it. Well, in today's world, it goes a long way if all of you are following all of our social media accounts. If you've liked us on Facebook, if you're following us on Twitter, if you're following us on Instagram, and make sure that you do that you share the content that your peers and your colleagues are creating. Because otherwise, this isn't, is Field of Dreams too old of a movie reference? Yeah? All right. In Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner gets told by a baseball ghost to build a baseball field, and the words that the baseball ghost says are, "If you build it, they will come." That mentality of if we write it, if we broadcast it, if we record it, that's the mentality of old media, where people want to come to us, they're going to come to us just because we're creating it. That world doesn't exist anymore. It just doesn't. Whether you're the Chronicle or you're the New York Times, you have to invest in pushing out your content to people. So I'm asking you, everybody that's on your teams, everybody you bring on, everybody you talk with, encourage them to like all of our social media accounts, and Justin and his team can make sure everybody has all that information. But share each other's content. Care. Read the Chronicle. Listen to KU. Watch the videos. We send out an email newsletter almost every day with headlines from the Chronicle. It goes to 5,000 people. And on that list, I would guess there's maybe less than 100 that have worked at student media over the last 10 years that we've had that list. Subscribe to get the email newsletter. Encourage other people. I mean, to me, it's sometimes a little bit crazy that I've talked to students before who have either, they're a radio host, that they flat out tell me they don't listen to any other parts of KU. Or I've talked to writers before who tell me that they don't even pay attention. They don't pick up the paper. They don't go online to read it. That's just stupid. You're a part of this organization. And so I'm asking you to think about that, not just in terms of what am I writing, what am I doing, what am I selling, but how do I help this organization become better? And that requires an investment, and I understand that, but we're asking you to do that. If you want some great jobs, part of that, a large part of that, is how do you treat social media and what sort of stuff are you putting out there. So please do that. And then finally, I know we'll turn some time over to Jeremy here in a second to give us a rundown on Slack. But please use Slack and the All Student Media channel. Pay attention to it, because I get messages and emails and phone calls all the time for internships or job opportunities, and typically I put them out on All Student Media. And those are internships. Today I posted one about if you ever have wanted to work in a newsroom, a TV newsroom at KUTV. They're looking for some part-time people. And so every opportunity I get, we're not sending emails, we're using Slack to post that. Important stuff that you need to know about meetings or free food in the office or anything like that, it's all Slack. So please pay attention to that. And Jerem will talk to you a little bit, I hope, about setting notifications and making sure that you're not completely overwhelmed with how many times you're getting Slack messages. So maybe 5-minute break so you can either refill on pizza or a drink, use the restroom, come back, and Jerem will give us Slack 101.
So as Jake said before, Slack is our #1 communication platform. And it's really nice, we really like it because everybody on the staff is in here, right? So it's really easy, if you know who to talk to, you can quickly find them, you can send them a direct message. No having to look up emails, no having to look up phone numbers, and anything. There are preferences, there are a lot of preferences, like tons of things that we'll be looking at. But notification settings is a big one. So I have mine set to all activity because I'm a little bit of a masochist. But you can set it to only direct messages and highlighted words, like completely. So what that means is that you will only ever get a notification if you get a direct message, if somebody tags you in a message, or if one of your highlighted words is mentioned. And highlighted words is really useful, and you can change them down here. You can add words that whenever one of them is said, you get a notification. So like, I have here like, any one time somebody says KU, and I should probably put every possible way you guys misspell KU in here too. Or someone mentions the geek wave, like it will notify me of that. You can also go in here, this is the web, because it opened the web client to do more detailed stuff. You can change your desktop and your mobile notifications so that they're different. You can make it so that you don't get mobile notifications while you have the desktop client open. And you can set channel-specific settings. This is one of the most important things you can know, is that you can change it so that your notification settings are different for different channels. This is especially because like I encourage everybody who's on KU staff to always get notifications in the all KU channel, because if someone's sending a message in that, what they're saying is, I want everybody on KU staff to know this. But you don't necessarily want to get all notifications from channels, from teams that you're not a part of. So I have it set here, see, from all Cronny. On the desktop I get everything, but on mobile I only get mentions and highlighted words. And for digital and sports I only have mentions and highlighted words and stuff like that. You can also set it so you get emails. That can get kind of annoying. I'm sure there are multiple settings, so I have it to never send me emails. You can get news and updates via email. And you can change your highlighted words. And there's lots of different ways you can customize your notification settings so that they're ideal to exactly how you want to see things.
Bottom line, if you're not using Slack because you feel like it's overwhelming, take a few minutes and set up your notifications so that they're the way you want them, and you'll find it immediately less overwhelming. Just guarantee it.
There's also some other really nice things you can do. Like you can star specific channels so that they'll always show up right here at the top. And then here I have it set somewhere in my preferences that we'll probably see later. I have it so that if I don't have a notification in a channel that I'm in, it won't even show that channel over here, right? So I only see the channels that I've starred and the channels that I have yet to read things in. Same with direct messages. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I have such a great staff.
Oh,
That was great. Let's see, okay, so app settings, messages, media. You can change things so that right now, like basically you can hide the profile picture so that you see more messages at once. Blah, blah, blah. Lots of settings that I would just kind of encourage you to look through, change what your emojis look like, expand media and links and stuff. There's also a nice trick. Sometimes if lots of people are sending pictures or lots of people are sending links, and so it kind of the messages look cluttered and stuff, there you can actually type /collapse directly into the chat, and it will collapse everything, so that you're not seeing the pictures or the links, and you can just read the conversation. If I type /collapse there. Now all of the images have been collapsed.
Is there a way to undo it?
I think it's expand.
Wow.
And if you type /, there's a ton of different commands here. Also, my favorite one in the desktop, you can press Control-K, and that'll bring up this box, and you can jump to any conversation you want without ever having to take your hands off of the keyboard. So I use that all the time. Sidebar theme, this is a little bit fun. Most of you probably have, notice this is red, most of you probably have a dark garish purple color over here. You can actually change that. You can change all of the colors. And I won't spend a lot of time talking about that, but that's in sidebar theme. There's some different options here, or you can go down and customize it however you want. You can search a lot of things, right? So that's one of Slack's biggest pluses, is that if you're looking, if you can't find what you want in conversation, you can probably search it. You can search files, you can search people, and there's a lot of commands you can put into the search that I don't know a lot of them. You'll probably have to, you can look them up, but you could type like from : Ashlyn, and then it would only search messages from Ashlyn or something like that. Let's talk about profiles, because a lot of you have, so you have a profile here on Slack. That's really nice. And we would really, really encourage you all to fill out your profile completely. Like a picture of your face so that people know who you are when they see you in the office. There's also, you can put in your phone number, which is really useful because then on mobile you can just click that and you can just call someone. Slack is also starting to implement calls directly in Slack. It is available on desktop and iOS only right now.
Android now has it as well. It used to be
Oh yeah? Okay, so you can call people in Slack. Like, you don't even need their numbers, I guess.
Can you do like a group? Call
Yes,
on the
you can.
channel?
You can call an entire channel. Yeah, we have. The directors did it a couple weeks ago just to test it out. And so you can have like an entire, it's only audio.
Only on it.
But yeah, so that's a really nice
So
feature.
you could call an entire channel?
Could, yes.
Let me call
Please don't do that in a large channel.
Oh man.
Everyone's going to.
We also have added places here where you can add your birthday, your Twitter, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, and your spirit animal. Just to show you that like we can add any fields we want here. So if there's any like senior leadership or something, and you're like, I'd really like to see this field added to our profile so that my team members can add it. Like we can add anything here. But this, I would really encourage you guys to make sure that your phone numbers, your Twitter, and your position. You can customize your position, and that makes it really helpful when you're talking to people that they know kind of who you are and what you do. Also make sure to keep that updated. Definitely make sure you have it on your phones. You can put it on all of your devices. There's Windows apps, Mac, Linux, I think. Do it just next to channels, there's this plus button. And it'll ask you, do you want it to be public or private, name, invite, purpose. Please fill out the purpose. And particularly if you want this to be a channel that people are paying attention to, I would encourage you to put in the purpose which people should be paying attention to, right? Public channels, the purpose of a public channel is to kind of be kind of like a shout out thing, right? So if anybody wants to know about this particular topic, you want to be part of this public channel, right? And whereas private channels are more of closed conversations. You can also do group messages. This was a feature we didn't have a year ago, where you can just start, if you want to like talk with 3 other people, but you don't necessarily want to make a whole labeled channel about it, you can just do a group message. I would encourage you not to overuse that feature. In the past, sometimes we've made like 10-person group messages, and then we've been like, we probably should have just made a channel for this. So you kind of have to, you know, think about what's going to be the most effective use of things. You'll notice if in this channel, is it over here? Where are the so channel details, pinned items. So you can pin items to a channel or a message group, and they'll always show up here. I think if you look specifically at all student media, did our pinned items get cleared recently? Oh, no, there they are. I don't know why this is banned. Chris pinned something. Yeah. I remember that. So in all student media, I've specifically pinned every time I've posted Slack tips, and so you can see all of them here. If you want to pin something, it's just in the settings or the long press. You can press pin or unpin. That'll also give a notification that it's been pinned directly in the channel, so that, and it's just kind of a way of keeping things on there, so that if you like things that you know people are going to want to find later, right? I want to take this lovely thing and share it. It's not that. So this is the link directly to the message, right? So you can click to open it in the archives. That'll open it up in your browser, which isn't necessarily what you want. But if you right-click it, you can copy the link and take it somewhere else. Share it like that. Is there a better way to do that that you know of, Jake? Or is it just sharing the link to the...
It's just sharing the link to it. Sharing is good for renewing a conversation. So one of the things that Slack is, I guess, challenged with is if you pay attention, it's really easy to jump topic to topic all the time in a single channel. So that's why we tried to create channels that can focus on certain areas of conversation. But even then, it's just too hard to keep it all streamlined. So let's say 3 days ago you mentioned something in a channel and you didn't get quite the response you wanted to. The easiest thing to do is just to reshare that message to kind of remind everybody that you had something pop up. And
files can be shared really easily too. You can just press share on it and share it to any other.
Yep.
So like if you're working with a graphic artist or something and like you finally get it the way you want and you want to show it to other people, you can just share it to another channel. They will get notified when you share it. Like if somebody uploads something and then you share it to somewhere else, they will get notified. And so, just so you're not know that. Let's see. There was something that I thought of. You all know how to use reactions, right? So you can react to a post, which is kind of nice if you want to kind of just give it emotion and not actually say anything or notify people. So like, yeah, so I use this often, like when I get my staff to vote, I'll put a check mark on every vote that I get to mark that I've seen it. Or we often, you can see when Jake said, can we get Jerome's photo on some recruiting posters, 2 people did this copying to indicate that they would love that idea. And then when Justin did it, 7 people indicated that that was a hilarious thing.
What I'm going to be going over is the hiring and recruiting process, which if you felt confused, you're totally fine, you're in the same boat as everybody else. So hopefully this will clear things up. This may be a little more relevant for senior and executive leadership. For sure, I'd love to make sure that you guys understand this process so you can push it to your staff. Okay, so outgoing chancellor Lauren is going to be, we're going to be bringing 1 replacement office manager over the summer to kind of learn the ways, and then when fall comes and hits, we'll have a 2nd office manager that will be part-time both. So what will be nice is we'll have full-time at the desk. However, we are going to be separating the duties of office manager right in half. And I'll be talking a little bit more about the front desk in general at the end. But Lauren is gonna kind of turn into me, who's coordinating the hiring and recruiting. So she'll be in office tomorrow, so if you're here, just say hi to her. But so the first step in hiring, obviously the interest of the candidate. So I put 3 different ways in which that I have seen candidates come. And I guess what I'm trying to express is it doesn't really matter what avenue they do end up coming through. If they reach out via website, which will be updated probably sometime this week, Justin, that will be a little more comprehensive in the sense of straight to an online application. So we're getting rid of the whole physical application where they have to fill out and then scan onto the computer and then send it to me. It's just going to be a Google form, online application, and I'm going to be able to make Google Drive folders for each applicant. So
Our
from
website
there,
already does that.
thank you, Jared. So it'll either come via website, or let's say they reach out to you, or let's say you reach out to them, which it doesn't matter as long as we continue to follow the process after this point. So then the applicant fills out the application. So I'm going to talk in the realm of intern and contributor just because junior, senior leader, and exec has already been done. So what we're going to see for the rest of the year is intern and contributors. So for intern, there's a separate application, and for contributor, there's a separate application. And I'm just going to briefly show you what they look like, just so you have a better idea. It's really simple. Honestly, it shouldn't take an applicant more than 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how much time they want to put into it. But what's super nice is all this information that they're filling out for me gets generated into a sheet and then a folder for themselves where I can then attach their resumes and their portfolios or whatever additional material they attach. So it's super simple for someone to apply for student media, which is another piece of feedback that I received, that the application printed out, and like I said, it was just too complicated. So this is what the intern one would look like, and the contributor is pretty much the same, obviously with just different position names, okay? Another huge piece of feedback that I received was, and I totally understand it, is it just got too much to be hiring all the time. For staffs to have a cohesive and strong team, and then for me to send an email saying, JK, you need to bring another person on. And I can understand why that's frustrating, and so Jake and I's solution to that is, can everyone see? I'm sorry if I'm lucky you. Is to create hiring seasons. So that way you have a 5-week, excluding the summer, which will be open enrollment, a 5-week hiring period where we can push an intentional marketing campaign to get people to join our staffs, and then to have a segment of time where you're doing all the interviews, you're doing all the reviews, and then you can create a cohesive team for the fall or the spring. Any thoughts on that? Disagreements? The executive team would like it? Yeah.
What if you have a team and for whatever reason, some people quit or something, so you're short-staffed, and it's past the hiring?
Yeah, I foresee that being an exception. If we need to push to bring other people in, then that's a conversation that we can open. This is more of a standard for staffs that may already have, for instance, I see sports, for instance. I know a huge problem last year is they had a lot of writers, and then I would send them an email and say, you need to add someone else. And it just got too much to handle. We weren't able to make a cohesive team. So it's more for those type of circumstances, but if we need to bring in additional people, that's a conversation that we can open up for sure, and making sure that we find those people.
And the other thing we want to avoid for people that are making hiring decisions is, and Kim could attest to this a little bit, you could spend the entire semester interviewing people and hiring them, or going through the hiring process instead of focusing on your content and the work you're doing. We want to try to avoid that, so we're trying to get, we want grad focusing on news content, not conducting interviews come, mid-October. And so that's kind of our goal, is to try to consolidate it into a window where we're openly accepting applications, and then just on a case-by-case basis, when we need people, we'll go out and recruit them specifically for those teams.
And hopefully we can be a little more intentional about the people we're reaching as well. Like I said, with an intent, and I have some ideas that I want to talk to Cooper about making sure that during those 5 weeks, we have marketing out there that people understand that we are in our hiring season and we are looking for people, so that isn't just some ambiguous 5 weeks that nobody knows about. Any questions about that? Yes.
I mean, how is it going, if we want to have like exceptions to that, is that going to be pretty easy?
I mean, I probably won't be here in the fall. I won't be here in the fall. But Lauren, like I said, will be the point person, and so I see Yakov just opening a conversation with Lauren and saying, we're in search of this. And then from there, it's not gonna be any different than what we're doing now, right?
Yeah.
So we just need to, because what will happen is I can see people applying even in the off season, so we'll have a storage of applicants. And if we need to pull into them for those case by case situations, we absolutely can. And if KU just wants to hire all the time, because they always do, and I don't mind because they're super diligent and they do a great job with it, so if you have any questions about how to hire in a very precise way, Yakov is your man. But if we need to amend things for KU, then we can figure out a system for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Who's Carlos?
Gustavo.
Gustavo.
Two things. These links, is there anywhere we can get them online so I don't have to type this?
Yes, great question. So I'm going to send the links on the all student media page, and then I'm going to pin it. And so then you should be able to have access to it whenever you want.
Okay, and then
Okay.
the second thing, the event planner position is like a newer position, so I don't know if it's included in the application you currently have made.
Okay? Is it going to be falling under contributor, or is it just going to be an intern or both?
I'm not.
Both.
Okay.
But they always start as interns in KU.
I think I already have it on the
Yeah,
application. I
I
think
gave- I
Jared
gave
told
you
me that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So if there's a position you want to add, check out the application and see if you see any positions missing. But I did reach out to the executive staff, and I think I got all the positions for each category, so I think we should be okay, but let me know if you see anything missing.
Also, like I mentioned, at the bottom of KU's homepage, the Join Our Team button goes straight to that intern application page. So you can direct people there now.
Okay, any questions about that? Cool to move forward? Okay. So the interview, and this is a piece I kind of want to stress a little bit. So being the person that's the liaison with these candidates, what's amazing for me to watch is the interest first come in and how like detailed and professional their emails are and how excited they are to be a part of the team, and then to see that the response email begins to like drop off the more I continue to send them out to people. So that's telling me that we have some gap there. We don't have an element of professionalism being extended to the people that we're passing it forward to. So the way I see being a solution is making sure that we are prioritizing some form of interview, that we are giving candidates a chance to express their desire to learn, or sometimes how experienced they are. And you'll probably see a little more on the intern side, less experience, more eager to learn, which is totally okay. If we're ready to create a learning environment, then we need to make sure that we're catering to those type of applicants. So after talking with the executive cabinet, we expect that once I send that information on to you, so the application has been submitted, I've created a Google folder that has their resume, portfolio, application, any additional materials they want to add. I send you a link to that folder, and then from there it's in your hands. Your hands to schedule an interview for you to decide yay or nay. But we do expect an interview, whether that be on the phone, whether that be a formal interview, however you would like to proceed with that, but there needs to be some type of verbal communication. Is everyone okay with that? Okay. And make sure it's 48 hours. I say that because I realize that they're going to be coming back to me if they don't hear back from you. So try to keep it to a 2-day response rate. That doesn't mean you need to have an interview in 2 days, but that means you need to have reached out and said, I would love to schedule an interview or a phone call or whatever by those 48 hours. Okay, recommendation. So there's another drive, and I have the link there, and this will also be pinned on the all student media. But this is something we started utilizing last year that a lot of you were doing really great at, and some of us not so much. But this is our tool that you will use to tell us how the interview went and whether or not you want me to hire them. So it looks like this. It's another Google form. Super simple. I mean, I reduced it even since when it was originally made to like 6 questions or something. So it's just interviewer, interview position, interview date, and then you're just rating the candidate. Do you think they can meet the expectations of the position? Would you hire this individual explicitly, yes or no? And any other information. Down here at the bottom, you'll see what they're actually applying for. even if scholarship amount is a question. Most of the time it'll just be interns, but we have that there just in case. Super easy, but then that goes to a page that I view and check all the time, and I'll look for the name, I'll look for the email, I'll look for the position, and the yay or nay. And from there, I send out the email that says, congratulations, you've been accepted as an internship for a KU producer. Come in at this time for your orientation.
Is there anywhere on that form to maybe recommend them to somebody else? Like say, I don't think I would have this person as a writer, but I think they'd be good on the video team?
Yeah, that's in the piece that I was talking about any additional information. I could make maybe a little headline underneath that says, if you feel this candidate would make a better fit somewhere else, please put this information here. Thanks for that feedback. Or if you're wanting to turn away the applicant. I do the hard work. I say no. But what luckily with the hiring season is we can say we encourage you to apply again in the spring. And that's another benefit I see of hiring is that we're giving time frames in which applicants feel like they can try again. Any questions on that? So just to clarify, the interviewer fills this out within 12 hours of the interview, okay? Acceptance rejection. I send the email, yay or nay, and then I move forward with saying, come meet me in the office for a small 15-minute orientation. The orientation is something that you don't have to worry about. It's totally on my end, but this is where they get all their accounts, their Slack, their Gmail, Kamiak, and card access. This is where they sign their contract. Most of the things that I'm stressing is because I need to get to a point where I have them signing a contract, especially when it comes to individuals who are receiving scholarship. That's a financial document, and if they're not going to get paid, first of all, if they don't have a signed contract. But if we don't have a comprehensive contract of what they're getting paid for, that Josh can tell you that could lead to issues later on. So we need to make sure that we are all prioritizing the signing of a contract. But yeah, I do a lot of small things to make sure they're on all the contact lists, that they're ready to go, they understand Slack, they understand Kamiak, and then they're good to go. Hired. Okay, any questions on that? Make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
And then you can read the bottom part, I don't need to go through that, but I figured that's also part of hiring, that if you need to let go of an individual, there needs to be contractually based reason. And obviously resignation, if someone wants to leave, that's on their own terms, but regardless, I need to be included in the conversation so I can make sure card access is removed. So we're not cluttering up Slack, we're not cluttering up our Gmail, and I get all those accounts archived. Yeah, I think that's everything I want to cover there. Cool beans? Okay, I stress it because it's important. It's important that we have a system in place because this is the face a lot of times of what students are seeing in this hiring process. So I wanted to make sure it's as clear and transparent as possible. In order for that to happen, I need us to work together. So if you do have questions, just ask me. I'd rather have my phone blowing up on Slack than come to a point where someone is working for us and we don't have a contract. That's when things get messy. Okay? Alright, and the second part of the presentation will be like 5 minutes, is what does the front desk do? Charging batteries. You'll notice there's 2 little hubs there that say not charged and charged. I charge those daily or every other day. So if your mouse goes dead, there's batteries there. Please put the batteries in the not charged so that we have batteries for other people. Please don't take them home because then they disappear, they're expensive. And then I have to ask Jake to buy more batteries. And I don't like having to ask for that. So, charging batteries. You'll notice there is a black inbox and outbox tray up at the front. If you ever need to drop something off for me, please utilize that tray. The desk is a black vortex. And if you just place something there, I cannot guarantee the safety of it. If it's in a tray, you have a better chance of guaranteeing the safety. So please make sure that you're utilizing that for me. If you're going to be dropping off stuff for somebody else, let's say Brad needs to drop something off for one of his writers, the brown accordion folder you're free to use. It's organized by last name, and then that can be a drop-off and pick-up location for individuals. But inbox and outbox tray is for information for me. Office supplies, if you ever need to buy them, send me a Slack message and then get it on the shopping list. I also have access to other office supplies that we already have, so if you have questions about things that we do or don't have, I can help you there. Tissues. Mail, if you need mail sent out, that's gonna go in the outbox tray for me. And press releases. So you'll find that you have a mailbox for a lot of you, and I use that for press releases. We get a lot of mail. People are like, come to the celebration for my grandpa's 50th birthday party. I mean, we see it all. But I'll put those press releases in those mailboxes, so please make sure you're checking those when you do come into the office, especially KU'd with your guys' CDs. And lastly, don'ts. Don't leave it on the desk. Don't take front desk supplies and never come back. You'll notice I have a pen loan, and it's my favorite system at the desk because all of you guys have been doing really well with it, because we have managed to keep 22 of the 27 pens that I set out a month ago. So we're doing really well. Don't take things from the desk that aren't yours, pretty self-explanatory. And don't be mean. That's more for Lauren. I'm trying to be precautionary about that, but we have no problem helping you guys out with anything that you need. I mean, if we have downtime, I would much rather prefer help Jerem put together awards for the ceremony. I would much rather help Kim with something else. Just ask in a nice way. I know you guys are capable of that. There's just been a couple past experiences where you wondered, ooh, manners. But other than that, I think I covered everything. Cool. I appreciate you listening. And I'm gonna keep a couple of these like on the walls in the office. So if you ever need to refer to it.
Thanks for coming today, guys.